the Adventurous Magnusons are heading towards Chicago, but first we're spending the night in Fargo. We stayed at the Jasper Hotel, which we really enjoyed and looked forward to. It's right in downtown Fargo. The rooms are new, they have kind of like a modern style. The headboards were velvet, really pretty light sconces. And as you can see out here, you can even see the Fargo sign lit up. So really a good spot if you're ever in downtown Fargo. When looking for a hotel for our night in Fargo, what drew me to Jasper was how nice the bathrooms were. I really enjoyed this really pretty blue tile in the bathrooms, and it even came with robes. So after Tom and I took a shower, we were able to relax in some hotel robes.
Well, maybe you were able to relax in yours. Mine was very small. Anyway, we decided we'd go out for a quick walk and take a look at the scenes. And it's pretty funny how you can find me reacting in hotels sometimes. Here I am waiting for Miss and then showing her the artwork.
It's really fun to travel around Christmas time because everywhere you go, it's decorated for Christmas and everything is so merry and cheery. Here they had a beautiful Christmas tree and garland in their hotel lobby, which we definitely enjoyed looking at. Once you leave the lobby, you're right in downtown Fargo, and so as you can see, the streets were all lit up with Christmas tree lights, and right to the left of the hotel is a beautiful Christmas tree, and then they also have ice skating, which was also really fun to watch.
I'd have to say that the Jasper was a really nice hotel to stay at, and I really enjoyed the overnight to Fargo. Well, from Fargo to Chicago anyway. We kind of had 2 travel days there. But I enjoyed just relaxing in the hotel, and I got to watch some NBA basketball, and Miss got to do a quick little workout, and then, we headed to the airport bright and early, let me tell you. We were getting up at like 3 a.m. or something like that, but it was a very nice stay at the Jasper. Would highly recommend if you come to Fargo, staying there. Two sleeps later and a bit of travel, and we made it to Chicago. So we ended up finding out that the best mode of transportation was going to be the train, and so we found a nice little holiday pass and just made our way down to the middle of the city off of Lake Michigan.
The train ride was great. It was only about 20 minutes from Des Plaines to downtown Chicago, and Tom and I really enjoyed the train trip. And we also used a Ventra app where you can actually buy your train ticket on the app, and so you don't have to worry about finding a kiosk to buy your ticket. And then we also enjoyed that they had coffee, a shop right here where you could grab coffee before hopping on the train. Although we didn't try it, we were going to save our appetite for lunch.
Coming to Chicago, one of the first orders of business was getting some deep dish pizza. So we found Lou Minalti's and put our names in, and then went and did some sightseeing and shopping.
Lou Malnati's is located in the Magnificent Mile. The Magnificent Mile is Chicago's premier commercial district. The vibrant, bustling area is home to upscale shops, luxury fashion outlets, cool restaurants, and posh hotels. Landmarks include the historic Chicago Water Tower, the neo-Gothic Tribune Tower, the terracotta Reenley Building skyscraper, and the 100-story John Hancock Center, which has a rooftop observation deck with fine dining and panoramic city views.
I know Miss said for me to let it run here, but it looks like I'm saying something important. So go ahead and enjoy the waterfront here. It was very cool today on this day, but it's a little warmer, I'm told, being a little closer to the water.
As Tom and I have said before, we got lunch at Lou Malnati's Pizzeria, and that pizzeria has stayed true to the original Chicago-style deep dish pizza recipe that Grandpa Malnati helped create in 1943 as Chicago's first deep dish pizzeria.
So it is nice that they do serve it up to you like this. Maybe I'd recommend taking it right out of the dish that it's cooked in, because after a while it does kind of get a little bit of a sogginess to it, but it's really delicious style pizza. Really enjoyed it, and here we are checking out more of the scenes.
Tom and I checked the GPS and found out that from the Magnificent Mile, it was only about half a mile walk to the Kris Kringle Market. So we decided, instead of getting a taxi, we decided to enjoy a walk to see more of the city and get to the Christmas markets.
Can't help but think a little bit of Frank Sinatra or something like that Chicago song when you see this sign. So here I had to get my girl in front of the bright lights. I was on the lookout for some acronyms, and I found this Chicago Scaffolding Inc. pretty good for a CSI one. Something else we were on the lookout for was this Christmas markets, this Kris Kringle marketplace that I had to figure out where we could find, and we found it. And then shortly after we came in, and I saw this sign, and I was like, we should go and get some Kathy Wolfhard art.
But in all seriousness, the shop that we went to is actually from Rothenburg, Germany. And I've actually been to Rothenburg, Germany, and gone into the store, Christmas market store. So it was fun to see this in the States, and they have all the items here are made from Germany, which is really fun. So we definitely enjoyed spending some time in here and shopping.
Well, there definitely was some opportunities for employment here, because they had people counting like how many people were going into the shop, and then if you miscounted or if too many people came in, then you had to like roll back how many people were in. It was quite the almost felt like the Seinfeld soup Nazi situation. But yes.
The Christmas market was crowded. That was one thing that is very different than European Christmas markets. They are not this overcrowded. And so that was the only thing that when you're walking through, it was hard to actually get to some of the shops because there were so many people. That would just be the one thing I would maybe mention, because we went the day after Thanksgiving. So maybe, and I've heard that's a very busy time to attend the Christmas market. So if you're planning on going, maybe go during the weekday and not like right after Thanksgiving, because it was very much overcrowded. After the Christmas markets, we looked on our GPS to see how far away Millennium Park was, and it was only about 0.6 miles away, so we decided once again to walk there instead of take a taxi.
At this point, I was starting to get a little bit tired, but I've always kind of wanted to see this bean that they talk about. So it's kind of cool too. You can see your reflection in it, and we didn't get where you're in the middle, but you can really do kind of like some funny mirror stuff with your body. Here I am jumping into the shot. Hey.
One thing that you can do right outside of the bean is ice skating. Tom and I aren't big ice skaters, but it was definitely fun to watch and see everyone out on the ice rink.
Last stop of the day, Miss wanted to go to the Sears Tower, what's known as the Willis Tower now. So I looked it up on my GPS, and it was like a little over a mile. And I just was like, you know what? I really feel like we should probably just go ahead and bite the bullet, get an Uber on this one. And we ended up not getting one, and then wanted food, and then it got a little bit grumpy, or at least I got a little bit grumpy as far as it. But here you can see we're seeing the great things about Chicago, like a great deep dish pizza, and here it pumps up my head where I was just not feeling it. But then Michael Jordan around the corner was definitely something that was pretty cool. And then they have you go to this ledge and stand off the side where you're just like kind of hanging in midair.
The Willis Tower is 110 stories high, and when you do the sky deck tour, you go out into this little box, as you see here, that's clear, and even the floor is clear. So when I first signed up for this, I was like, oh yeah, that'll be no big deal. But I will be honest, I was very nervous to step out into the box, but eventually did, and we got these fun shots. After a good night's sleep, we headed over to the Lincoln Conservatory, And on the way, we got to check out some brownstone buildings, which I find absolutely beautiful.
A lot of times we see these statues and we're really just not sure who the people are. In this case, Seth looks a lot like, is that Benjamin Franklin over there?
The Lincoln Park Commission constructed the Lincoln Park Conservatory in phases between 1890 and 1895, replacing a small greenhouse that dated from the 1870s. Nationally renowned architect Joseph Lyman Silsbee designed the conservatory in collaboration with architect M.E. Bell. The park includes a second example of the work of each architect. Silsbee designed the Carlson Cottage, a ladies' comfort station southeast of Cafe Brouwer, and Bell designed the rustic shelter located west of North Pound near Stockton Drive. During the early 19th century, developments in iron and glass building technology led to the construction of conservatories in cities throughout Europe and the United States. Later in the century, as people were increasingly concerned about the ill effects of industrialization, they became fascinated with nature and interested in collecting and classifying plants.
If anything else, it was a great opportunity to take off my jacket for a little bit, walk around in a nice warm area, and where the surrounding temperatures were definitely near freezing. So it was a delight to be in this area, and I really enjoyed learning about ferns, moss, and all kinds of different things.
Large conservatories with display and exhibit rooms gained popularity, and Lincoln Park's small greenhouse no longer seemed sufficient. Architects Silsbee and Bell were commissioned to design a much more substantial building. Rendered in an exotic style, the new structure included palm, fernery, orchard, and show houses. A paradise under glass, the conservatory supported a luxuriant tropical growth, blending the whole into a natural grouping of nature's loveliest forms. The exotic plants were so popular that in 1897, the Egyptian government requested seeds from Lincoln Park's water lilies.
Sleigh bells ring, hear them chime, with magic such a timeless rhyme. A world adorned in sparkling snow, carols hum as the night takes flight.
I kept expecting a professor to walk by and say, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." And then we have this woman there that I was talking to who had a great ability of just walking by ferns and being able to flip over and knowing what it was looking like underneath there. And one of them looked like a computer chip. It was pretty neat. There was also this guy that was walking around with his film set up, and he looked like he was almost putting on like tours so people could like tour it without actually being there.
The Lincoln Park Conservatory is definitely worth checking out if you're in Chicago, especially if you visit Chicago in the winter. When you go inside the conservatory, it is so warm and humid. It's a nice little break from the outside elements.
One of those catch-22 situations where having a jacket is nice, but then you go inside to a nice warm environment and you got no place to put your jacket. Anyhow, we got out from the conservatory, and I had no idea what I was in store for, or what a treat it would be to go to this Museum of Science and Industry. I was in for a dose of 00 science as we had James Bond on display.
When we first got to the museum, we grabbed a quick snack and got a donut, a coffee, and then went on to explore the museum. And one thing we really enjoyed was that they had on display Christmas around the world. And so they had Christmas trees from all these different countries that were decorated. It was really fun to walk around and see the trees.
Yes, the trees. The trees were very nice, but the James Bond exhibit was really something to behold. Here we see one of the suits worn in, I think it was a Craig David James Bond, and we've got all kinds of cars, typically Aston Martins, and it was just amazing to see like things like the Golden Gun and just different things that were on set for some of these movies. Was a nice touch that they would have some of the movie playing where the piece of equipment was being featured. They also had on display the Golden Gun, which I thought was awesome. There it is right there. I wish I would have gotten a little more footage, but it was fun to see all the different gadgets and the things that were on Q Branch, and there were some fun little interactive things as well. This was awesome. They had the prosthetic that the guy used in Live and Let Die. Oh, and then Miss gets scared by a shark here. Oh my goodness, where is it? Ah! Oh, and just when you think that's got to be the last cool thing, they got the car from Thunderball. Oh my goodness. I've got to hand it to you, Q. Quite ingenious, with an emphasis on the hand.
Another exhibit that Tom and I really enjoyed was their water exhibit, which focused on getting plastics out of the ocean. And so at the very end of this exhibit, they showed the amount of plastic that is used or that winds up in the ocean. And so it was a good reminder to try to use less of plastics every day.
We took the pledge to reduce plastics, and we hope that you're taking the pledge to try to help grow our channel. We ask that you would like and subscribe, and then I'd ask that you would comment where you think the adventurous Magnuson should adventure to next. We're really excited to continue to grow this channel with you guys, so stay tuned for more, and tell your friends about us. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.